Hello and welcome to Castival. This is the podcast which brings on brilliant guests to pitch their dream music festival. My name's Matt Holt and I'm the host, and I'm here to guide you around their festival. Today's guest is an award-winning stand-up comedian and writer. It's Sarah Callaghan. Hello!
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you. And how are you?
Good, I'm good.
And welcome to Castival, and it's great to have you here. And so for the next hour or so, we're going to be talking about music and music festivals. But my kind of archetypal question to start off with is, if someone were to ask you what kind of music are you into, how do you typically respond to that question?
I say the most annoying answer, which people always hate. I always say I'm just into everything, which I am. Because it's like, I like going down certain genres, like, you know what I mean, if you want to talk in depth about that. But it's hard because some days I'll like something, other days I'll like something else. So I can't, it depends on my mood, innit? So that's what I usually say, and then they usually just walk away.
I'm not going to do that for you right now because it'll be a very short podcast. But, so what kind of moods do you listen to certain genres? Like if you're feeling, is there certain kind of, does it always correlate in that way? Or like, what kind of mood have you been into today? What kind of music have you been listening to?
I haven't listened to anything today because I only got up a minute ago. But usually like, so if I'm going to a gig, like when I'm on the train, I'm going to a gig, I listen to a lot of Grime because it gets me like, you know, riled up and feeling like I'm the best, and the lyrics are just, they're good confidence builders, I think, you know what I mean? And but then when I'm like chilled, if I'm driving late at night, I'll listen to some more like chilled stuff or like Motown.
Yes.
If I'm getting ready to go out in an evening, like if I'm going out, like not gigging or whatever, I'll probably listen to like dance music or like Chris Brown, things like that. So it changes.
And is there any kind of music that, though you have an eclectic taste, do you kind of feel like is any music like, nope, never gonna touch that?
Yeah, like Slipknot. Yeah. Like any proper like hardcore shouty. Yeah. No, I can't. No, there's my brother-in-law, he listens to a band called Suicide Boys.
So, I know Suicide Boys. I think,
and it's like the kids of today, they're into some weird shit, man. Like, and it's like I'm not even that old, but it's just like it's weird shit. Anyway, I was like, oh yeah, play me a bit, and it is literally just talking about like killing yourself and that. And I'm like, that is devil's music to me. That's the devil. Like, because I want to listen to music, I want to feel good, I want to be inspired, or I want to dance or whatever. Like, I don't want to listen to lyrics telling me how I'm going to kill myself. So I was just like, that's not for me, man.
Well, I guess that's what we kind of glean from that amongst many things towards Suicide Boys, but also in terms of so you listen to music to kind of make you happy. It's a kind of a big emotional amplifier in that way.
I think so. Yeah.
I love it for that reason as well. Like I have a playlist on my phone of like things, songs that will make me feel happy instantly, and it's not to be used all the time. It's to like be used when you're feeling a bit low. It's like a good toolkit for you to kind of like bust it out and feel good. And as you say, like if you're going out in the town, hitting those tracks, or you're driving home from a long day of work, those are the kind of like there's different moods and different themes for different songs as well. So I completely agree. And and so. And how about yourself? Have you ever wanted to be a musician? Have you ever wanted to learn to play an instrument or anything?
Yeah, I've actually tried to play lots of instruments. So when I was 8, I played violin, and then I tried to play guitar and I quit, and then I tried to play piano and I quit, and then I tried to play sax and I quit. I was a big quitter when I was younger. I was used to like try and do things, but I'd want to be like instantly good, like first lesson I'd want to know everything, and like obviously I had no patience, and that's not good if you're trying to learn an instrument. But anyway, I've been obsessed with the drums like my whole life, but my mum, that was the one instrument my mum never let me play. And then about 5 years ago I started doing lessons, so now I actually play the drums. So so it's probably like the best decision I ever made in my life, because I've loved music so much, but it's like loving it and then actually wanting to be a part of it, like making it, like being in it, and like now I can do that. So it's fucking sick.
Yeah, oh my god, we should start a band, because I think
let's do it, man. I'm up for that.
Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what
do you play then? Guitar?
So I play guitar. I play a little bit drums and some bass, and I'm learning keyboard as well.
Sick.
Sick. So I'll do everything else, and you just do drums. Be good. Cool. But I kind of think that's I think drums are a hard one to kind of to deal with as a teenager, because like they're quite expensive and very, very loud. So like it's, especially if you know, I think a lot of parents worry that their child is gonna quit or anything after like 5 days, which that can be tough, and especially you can't just offload. Like drum kits are hard to find the space for as well.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, they're very loud. Yeah, they just take up so much space. And I think that's the thing that my mum thought, because she was just like, you're just literally going to quit, so I'm not spending like $1,000 on a kit for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love, as you kind of mentioned, I love the feeling of when you're being part of music as well, not just liking it, but being part of it. Because like, I kind of feel that whenever I used to go to a gig, I would watch like guitarists play, but like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I think that's a sign of a really good gig, very inspirational gig, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't happen with every band, but there's certain bands like, oh, I want to do that. Or how are they doing that? Like, kind of like studying them as well. It's a really, I think it's the highest degree of like, of awe and kind of fan worship as well, being like, how do you literally do that as well? And do you feel like that with drummers as well? Do you ever find that idolation for certain drummers?
Oh, definitely. Like if I'm watching live music, I'll always like zoom in on the drummer if they're doing some like crazy shit, or like, it's just because that's the thing with drums as well. Like it does look easy, but when you actually start learning it, like a lot of instruments, I had a conversation with someone the other day, it's like, you need 2 hands, so piano, left hand, right hand, guitar, you're doing 2 things. But with drums, you're doing 4 things. You're doing 2 different things with your legs and your hands. It's just, I don't know any other instrument where you're using 4 different body parts differently and in different tempos and whatever. So it's like, but when you see like someone just going sick, and it like, it just looks so easy. It looks like it. So that's what I'm amazed at, because now I'm learning it. I know how hard that is. So I'm like, you must be so fucking good. And then also to be cool, and also to add your own little bits in, or to leave notes out, and to like bring your attitude with it is like a whole nother level. It's mad.
Absolutely. And I think we don't really talk, we haven't really talked a deep dive on drums before in this podcast, so this is a really refreshing kind of angle with it. But like and also like, it's with drums, it's important to, well, it depends what band it is, but it's important not to override everything. The drums aren't necessarily like the focal point. It's meant to carry the rest of the band through for many in many different ways, and so it can't be like over everything. You have to kind of like let it ride as well, and take your moments to shine as well. So it's and yeah, I totally agree, because I think it definitely looks easier than it is, because as you say, you're doing many things with many hands, and I kind of like, it's an interesting instrument, isn't it? Because like because you sat down on stage and you're kind of wailing your arms and your legs and just hoping to make good music as well. It's an interesting, I like it for that reason, and it's it's quite hard to get your head around as well. Brilliant. So that's really cool. So we're going to start a band soon, which is really, really exciting.
It's happening, mate.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's talk more about festivals. So have you been to many festivals outside of work? And yeah, what's been one of your favourites?
Yeah, I've been to loads. I'd probably say again, it's hard because the festivals all had different like themes, so it's hard to pinpoint it to one. But if we're thinking maybe rock music, I'd say there's one that I go to every year. It's new, actually. It's only really been going for the last 4 or 5 years, because it took over from Tea in the Park. It's Transmit Festival in Glasgow, and just in terms of the price for what you get, there is so many bands, and they're all sick, like big bands over like 3 stages. Like it's always a good vibe. Nothing ever bad ever kicks off. Like it's super reasonably priced. Like you can see everything from the stage. The sound quality's sick. Like I've always had a good time there. So that's probably like, in terms of pure just music, that's my favourite. Yeah.
That's, you know what, Transmit doesn't get enough love on this podcast, and I think a lot of it.
Sick.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely, sick. And the Glaswegian festivals are really fantastic, and I look forward to going back there for sure. But so well, I think it's time to head over to your festival. But let's go and do some of the background information, and let's go and set up camp. Hello and welcome to Season 4 of Castival. What a delight it is to have you back here. If you'd like to help support the podcast, because this is an ad-free podcast, there's many ways you can do that. You can follow me at Matt House Comedy on the social medias like Instagram and Twitter, and watch me do live performances on Twitch. and still doing Twitch throughout the summers and from 2021 onwards. So please do follow me there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Matt House Comedy. If you'd like to, you can also read my book, available from my website, www.matthousecomedy.com. It's called Purify. On top of that, make sure to join the Patreon, where there's extra bonus content every single week. If you like my streams, there's some stuff there. And if you wanted to help the podcast specifically, make sure to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or whichever podcast provider that you use. And do share with friends. Other than that, enjoy this very special episode of Castival. Castival, are you ready? Here we go! Get on your feet! If you know this one, sing along. So Sarah, what is the name of your festival?
Oh shit, I don't know. I didn't know we have to call it.
That's fine.
I don't know. The Sick Festival. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, is it called Sick Festival because it's quite good, or is it going to be so full of inebriation that people are going to be puking? It's going to be just vomit everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, is it going to be sick? Yeah,
I think it's going to be both in equal measure. Like. Yeah,
I like that a lot, the Sick Fest. And you know what, I actually think that that's one of the cooler names we've had, because a lot of comedians just name it after themselves, which is really a valid thing. But yeah. But you've actually gone, it's sick. Mine's sick. Whereabouts geographically would you like your festival to be held?
Ooh, somewhere that's nice to camp. Do you know what? Yeah, like somewhere around maybe like Weymouth, because there's loads of nice green around there, and like wooded areas as well, because you always get like a wooded bit at Fezzy. And then also like afterwards or before or after, you can go to the beach, and there's nice beaches around there. It's not too far. It's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours from London. Yeah, I think maybe there. And there's no festivals in Weymouth. Do you know what I mean? So we need to give some to them.
This sounds like more of a real festival as well, because you've got a nice mixture of like different scenery. Obviously, you've got the big band stages, but also the woodlands and also the beach nearby. Yeah, you have a bit of mix and match. It can be spread out a bit. I like it a lot. And yeah, so how many people would you ideally like at your festival if you had to kind of put a number to it?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't want it too big, because like I've been Glastonbury and that, and it's just, for me, the people like ruined it. Like. I want to go Glastonbury just on my own, or like just with my pals in it. Like the people do my Latin. So maybe I don't know what's a small number but still big enough to cause a vibe. Maybe like like 50,000.
50,000 is pretty nice. Yeah, that's good enough to have an atmosphere, because I feel like if it's just you and your friends, it'd be good. Like for the first band or so, but it might get a bit hard to get them, like doing stand up to like 2 people. It's the enthusiasm can be there, and it can still be a gig, but it can be hard getting the motor running sometimes. But that's never stopped me before, Sarah. So, but yeah, I think that's nice. But going back to like Glastonbury, which Glastonburys have you been to?
I've just been to one. I went in 2014. So that was the Dolly Parton.
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica, Dolly.
I was there too. Yeah.
But I've been trying to go back there as a performer for ages, and then we were really working on it, and then obviously COVID hit and whatever. But hopefully I'll be back there in a different capacity, because I don't think I would ever want to go back there as a punter. I just, in terms of the sleeping arrangements and the people and all that shit, and just I missed so many bands because I couldn't make it to the stage in time because it's so far. But obviously, if you're VIP, then you get to go on the buggies and that, and then you have different routes that you don't have to go with like the peasants and that. You know what I mean?
Because the reason I really picked up on it, because you were like saying, "Oh, I hate the people," and to be fair, that year was tremendously busy. It's
mad.
Yeah, absolutely. And but yeah, was there any instances of someone or some group of people being really annoying or anything like that?
Oh my God, yes. So we had where our tent was. So I'd never been Glastonbury before, so maybe I was a bit naive, I'm not sure. But we got like we like camped before, even before you start queuing up. So like on the Wednesday or some shit, or like the Tuesday super early. Like we were dickheads. I would never do this again. But so we queued up like all night, all night, slept in the field in a long line. We get there, we're at the front, and then we had to walk more in. Anyway, when we got in there, everyone's running to get a good spot for their tent. So
Yeah.
ours was like on a hill overlooking Pyramid Stage. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. We can literally open our front door and we got the stage. This is sick. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is everything I dreamed it would be. Anyway, so we set up the tent and that, and then we started drinking or whatever. And then we were super tired because obviously we hadn't slept in over 24 hours. So we had a little nap. When we woke up, I opened the thing and there was a tent like right in front of the door. And when I was like, oh my God, I looked up and literally all the tents were just so, like literally next to each other.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. And I couldn't believe that, because every festival I've been to, it's like there's a little bit of space around your tent. You know what I mean? One's there, one's there, one's there. They were just all on top of each other. And we were like, this is fucking shit, man. We can't see nothing. Can't even get out the tent. We were literally having to walk around. So that was shit. And then anyway, because the tents were literally touching, like next to each other, the first night, a couple were fucking on my head. On my head. So I'm like trying to sleep, yeah, and my head's like this, bang, bang, bang. Like there was just the tiniest bit of material in between. I was just like, this is shit, man. And then there was like and then the other tent, the other side, there was just like really posh, just like posh young kids just chatting shit like all night, like just having really goony conversations and like really annoying voices, and like, yeah, it was just a bit much. In the end, we had to turn sharp because it was just like it was just too much. But so yeah, that's why I don't like camping in it. I don't get all the.
Wow, and I kind of I love that situation. It's like, right, which way am I gonna point my head in this direction? Is it the shagging couple or the wankish kids? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, which one do I pick? Which is the lesser evil here?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. But oh well. You're not there to sleep anyway.
Absolutely, and but yeah, that it can be very claustrophobic at festivals, and you do need a bit of breathing space. You can't. It's kind of like parallel parking. Like you can't be right onto the bumper of someone else. That's just rude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's unlawful, and I would have. You know what? That's not sick. And,
exactly. Yeah.
So. To wrap up the section, what kind of role would you be taking at the festival? Because, would you be out there partying? Are you more of an organizer in the background? Are you going to be comparing on this main stage? What's kind of your role?
I think my role would be just mingling with the stars, having drinks. Yeah. I'd go out into the like main bit and party as well, but just making sure everything's all right. People are happy. They got what they need. Probably that, and then I want to perform on one of the days. Very nice. I'd perform on the Sunday when everyone's a bit more chilled.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm definitely not going to be doing too much strenuous work. That's for sure.
That sounds very good. And obviously, I hope I'll be invited to play alongside you as well.
Yeah, you can come.
Yeah. Thank you. The only reason I do this podcast is just to feel involved.
Yeah, really. Yeah. that can be our premiere for our band.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We'll have no rehearsal beforehand. We'll just turn up.
Just improv it,
pure
mate.
Instinct.
Yeah. Just freestyle.
Brilliant stuff. So I think it's now time to head over to your main stage and see who we have playing.
I wanna see that band you hate. I already told you we were too late. Now let's go back to the tent. Can't really, 'cause it's burning in the field.
So who is going to be the first band or artist opening up your Friday?
Okay. Yeah, so Friday on the main stage, I'm going to have Coffee open up.
Oh, yeah. So I think I know Coffee, but just for if there's any listeners at home, tell us more about Coffee.
She is the youngest Jamaican female to ever win a Grammy without ever releasing any music with a major label. She's fully independent. She's absolutely amazing. Like people like Chronix and like Damian Marley, all those people, they co-signed her super early. They said, oh, this girl's gonna be massive, and she is. And all like tunes like there's songs that did really well over here, which Toast was a huge one, which a lot of the kids but she's released music since then, but yeah, it's probably like her most well-known track. But yeah, I'd get her to open it up, because hopefully the sun will be shining and she'll get everyone in a good mood, everyone dancing. She's just really feel good. All her lyrics as well. The reason why I really like her is because like she's so young, but she's really a positive person. She's super positive, like she's all about like having a good time, being grateful, being good to your family, earning money in legitimate ways, and yeah, it's just feel good music, man. So I think she'd be good to open it up on a Friday.
Yeah, and I think you really summed that up in a really lovely way, and and that's quite nice. But in terms of like having an act who is about positivity as well, do you think that's important for music and the music that you like?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because when there's drugs and alcohol involved, which inevitably it's probably going to be at a festival, music will only enhance what you're feeling right now, the same as drugs. So if you're listening to good music and you're feeling good and you're taking drugs, it's all just going to be love. Whereas if you're feeling a bit shit, you're listening to bad, depressing music that's triggering you, dark sounds, and then you're taking drugs on top of that, there's going to be fights, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be tears, there's going to be bullshit. So I think, definitely positivity is the way to go.
What I love about that is that you spoke like a true festival organizer. They're saying, for the good of our people, for risk assessment's sake, we're going to put on positive music because we don't want people to have a nice time.
Yeah,
I'm
all
safe.
About health and safety. You know what I mean? That's what. First and foremost.
yeah, absolutely. Health and safety and space away from tents.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. So I think coffee's going to be a great opener, and I think. And how long are the sets going to be at your festival?
I don't know. I think maybe like half an hour each, and then the headliner like hour and a half.
Fantastic. You know what? You've straight down the middle on that one. Lovely stuff. So who is going to follow up Coffee?
Burna Boy.
Oh yeah, I don't know this artist, but can you tell me a little bit more? I feel this is going to be educational for me.
Yeah. So he's another. It's like Afro beats, music, super positive, all about partying and life and everything. And he's sick. If you get a chance, check out his Tiny Desk on YouTube. It's he's got a super deep voice, and it's just it's just again feel good music, man. I love it.
Yeah, Tiny Desk has been an absolute guilty pleasure of mine in lockdown as well. It's such a I think the Lizzo one and the Nico Case one on there just the most mind blowing and just heartwarming shows, and that's the kind of shows I want to go to in the future as well.
Everyone's just having a good time, and also it shines like you get to actually see the musicians as well. They're not like at the back or in black. With like the lights and whatever, it's like they're all just there, all lit up, and they're like talking to them. It's so I love shows like that, which is just like laid back. You know what I mean? It's just fun.
Have you ever been to like a really tiny concert like that?
Yeah, so I do gigs for So Far Sounds, so which is do you know the platform?
It rings a bell, but I don't know from the top of my head.
Right, so it's a music platform basically, which is set up by two guys. Many years ago, where basically they were sick of going to gigs, paying extortionate prices, surrounded by people bashing into you, pouring drinks, not being able to see because someone tall standing in front of you, people filming with their phones. So they set up this thing where they book artists and then they perform in all random little venues, i.e. you could be in a shop, you could be in someone's house, you could be like anywhere in a fucking train station, and it's invite only, it's all secret, you don't get to know the location until the day of the show, you can't even buy tickets, you apply to tickets, you get picked, and then and then you turn up, and basically some of the biggest artists have performed there and been discovered from that, i.e. Yebba, Billie Eilish, Ed Sheeran, loads of artists that are huge now, Arlo Parks, that started off doing the So Far Sound shows. They've got like 1.2 million subscribers. It's a fucking amazing platform, and I used to watch music through there. And then when I started doing poetry with music, because I do it with a live band, they actually they wanted to do comedy, so they booked me for some comedy nights. And I said, "Oh, can I do music?" And they were like, "Yeah, no worries." So now I just predominantly do music for them and like poetry and stuff. And it's sick because you get to perform in the most weirdest venues. But when people come, that they're not allowed to be on their phones. It's super respectful. Everyone has a sick time. But through that, I'm seeing so much intimate music and just like artists that I never would have seen before, genres I've never seen. I saw like it was like Jamaican jazz, like random ones as well. Like it was like French rap with like violins, like loads of random stuff. But like the artists, because they're handpicked, they're sick. They're so sick, and so that's probably the most music I see close up. And before COVID, I was doing like, 4 or 5 gigs a month for them, and so I was seeing a lot of music, and it was sick. Like having it so close up and being so intimate, and everyone like not being on their phones, not talking. It's just like the vibe is like everyone knows that they're witnessing some magic, and that's what I love. I love that. It's like we're doing something that no one else knows about. You know what I mean? I love that.
I feel so legitimately quite jealous about that, to be honest. Like, I'm
come
really
to a show, man. They're going to be starting up again soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come down. Like, but that's the way. Like for me, music should be as well. Like not to be like an old duffer about it, but yeah, I do feel that, especially as someone who's quite short and like I'm not a very boisterous lad, if you know what I mean. So like, so when I'm at a gig and I'm there all for the music, and there's like drunk people walk in front of me at the last minute, it's just you can't see anymore. It can be quite upsetting, or like it feels. I feel, but if you're picked to go there for your love of music and that alone, and you're with people who are respectful, that's really cool. And also that's kind of like punk at its best as well.
Oh,
like,
it's super, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's definitely my vibe, and I definitely and I love the DIY elements to it as well. Like it really there used to be a band called Bomb the Music Industry, which was by Jeff Rosenstock, and he continues. Jeff is now a solo artist, but continues to do that kind of stuff. But it is a documentary about his years in Bomb the Music Industry, and he would just turn up in someone's like basement in New York and just do a show there to like 30 people, and it would be just. I would be so transfixed by that, because like you can, it means that you can kind of do it anywhere. You can set your own platform, and I always think that's super important as well. So yeah, I think that's a really good to know that moving forward to your festival as well.
But check them out. Check them out on YouTube, because there's so many like unsigned artists and big artists, and you'll get to see the different rooms and that. Like it's it's pretty cool, man.
Tell you what, my agent will be sending so many emails out to them that they don't know what's going to hit them. They'll listen to this podcast as a post-mortem in a court, I imagine, because I will not start hounding them. But yeah, that sounds fantastic. But let's get back to your awesome festival. So who is next up?
So next up, I'm probably gonna have a bit of a change of pace. Little Sims,
yes.
Yeah, because I love her. I think she's amazing, and I've seen her live before, and she kills it. So, and you know what? She's super talented, man. Like she did guitar solo, drum solo, sax solo, and she was singing and all that. I was just like, fucking hell, because I liked her anyway because of her tunes and that. But I didn't know she played all those instruments, and to do solos, I'm like, oh my god, I love you.
She did all the solos on the instruments that you gave up on.
I know, yeah.
She's taking
a piss. I know. It could have been me. But no, yeah, I'd have her, I think, next.
And just a quick question about like a lot of the artists. Are these people that you've seen live before, and that or the people you want to see live? And what's the ratio between that?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of two. It's some that I've seen and they just blew my mind. I really want to see them again, and then others that I've not seen. Nice. So I thought, fuck it, I'll put them on my own festival then.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was the penultimate act on before the headliner on your Friday?
The Streets.
Oh, nice, the Streets. And I think they've been mentioned a few times on the podcast before, but it's a really nice level to have them just before the headliner as well. Because I think the Streets are a great Friday night band. If you know what I mean, they'll get the crowd pumped. They've got the hits. You know what I mean? They're ready to go.
Exactly, yeah. And also by this point, everyone's pretty drunk and they're wanting to like be a bit rowdy and that, and dance and go a bit mad. So yeah, I think it'd be a good position to put them in.
Fantastic. And yeah, obviously you'll be mingling with the Streets backstage, and you'll high five them. Yeah,
of course.
You'll get on well with them, and but as you high five the Streets as they come off stage, who is headlining your Friday night?
Skepta.
Nice. Again, I feel like I'm going to be saying this quite a lot, but I think I've heard of Skepta. But can you tell me more about?
You
Skepta?
Don't know Skepta? All my days.
I know.
For me, he's like.
I'm really sorry.
In terms of like Grime, I'm a huge Grime fan, and I think he he sums up so like for me, I think he's the king in my eyes of the movement and that. Like Wiley's the godfather.
Yeah.
But for me, he's the king. You know what I mean? And I've just his mum released a book like an autobiography. So like, and then his sister does radio presenting and TV presenting. She's really talented, and then his brother JME is also an artist as well, grime artist, rapper, MC. So their whole family's like so super talented. So I love him as a whole package. But I have seen him live, and he kills it. Like it's a fucking great show. So I think to headline a Fezzy then on the Friday especially, I think everyone would love it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So you're not into grime? You don't like grime?
Well, what I've realized in this podcast is that grime is definitely my blind spot of a genre. It's not like I don't like it. It's just one of those things where I don't know the ins and outs of it. If you know what I mean. Like I'm very I just don't. I guess it's not. I've never had that chance to kind of ingratiate myself with it. But So okay. So tell me, I feel your passion here, and I really that's what this whole podcast is about. It's about passion, it's about love. So sell me on Skepta, because I feel that you said he's the king. Why is he the king for you?
I think that his lyrics are good. I love his flow. I love his beats when he does his tunes. He does proper like greasy stuff where he'll talk, about the streets and that sort of culture. But I think as he's got older and matured, he's in his 40s now. He's had a kid and that. He's become a lot more toned down. He's really, really matured, and his lyrics have matured with him. You know what I mean? And he's really big on just again promoting the positivity and just working hard, and he's really grown into like a proper musician, you know what I mean? I've seen it in the music, the way it's changed. But more than anything, I think his sound and his music is so nostalgic to me because it takes me back to being a teenager and that. So, I mean, you could listen to one of the tracks and be like, it's dog shit. But obviously it's like, when I listen to it, it takes me back to that moment and who I was then and what I was going through. So, I just think he's a sick guy. He comes across really well in interviews. He dresses well. I'm also a big sneaker fan. I'm a massive sneakerhead. And he makes his own trainers. So he makes his own brand of trainer called Nike SK Air. And they're sick, but I can't afford them at the moment. So, but they're like, so he does all that shit as well. And he fucked Naomi Campbell. So I think that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
I got the real CV there. That was the right curveball for me at the end. It's important when music connects to us when we're younger as well. So do you feel that you've kind of grown as his career's grown? You've kind of been in that journey with him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you're bound to, aren't you? You know what I mean? And I think it's nice to when you and an artist that you like grow together, because like the subject matter that he's talking about, I really embody that at the moment as well. So it's like it's come at a right time. Like, some of the new kids that are coming up at the moment, like grime kids, I like the sound because I like grime as a genre, but what they're chatting about, I can't really connect with, like going to the club, shagging, drinking, doing drugs. I'm like, I mean, yes, fun, but that's not me. That's not my life anymore. You know what I mean? Those are the words of an 18, 19-year-old. They're talking about money and like they're obsessed with their looks and Instagram and blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of like, yeah, I've kind of moved away from that now. So, I think it's only when you start listening to like newer stuff that you realise, oh, fuck, that's not me no more. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. There's a certain identity when it comes to music as well. And like... And I find it interesting that if you are an artist and you write songs and about a specific time in your life, and then you are accountable for that music for the rest of your career. Now, like, so if you release songs in 1994, which about you trying to get off with some girl you fancied back then, and now you have a wife and family, and it must be an odd thing to kind of revisit that in the words. And I guess I'm not sure if the emotional connection's still there. I guess it's not, but like, yeah, it's an interesting thing to have that like in your back catalogue, if you know what I mean. But I guess in a comedy translation, it's like, we don't retell our jokes, so because there's this natural filtration system. But imagine like if there's a YouTube of our old material online.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So let's, before we head over to your Saturday morning, we're feeling fresh after the night out. Is there much of a night party atmosphere at your festival?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah, I would have another stage on during the day as well that you could do stuff like during the afternoon or whatever. But I think, yeah, towards the evening, people would be pretty smashed, I reckon.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't end too late. I don't like ending too late. I like to be in bed by at least 1. So I would be like, everybody out at 12. And then whatever they can do what they want to do. And it won't start until like 1 the next day anyway. So you get a bit of a lie in, it's all right.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's very, very chilled out.
Yeah.
But what other entertainment is at your festival as well?
So I'm going to have a stage called the Callaghan stage. And I'm basically just going to champion all of the amazing poets and spoken word artists that I know, because I know a lot. And also, I think they work really well at a festival because it's people that, are a bit chilled, or they're having a little bit of a break. They want to come and sit down or whatever. And it's, they do it with music or with backing tracks and whatever. So it's still like music. It's not like you going into a room and someone's there with reading off a book. You know what I mean? It's like they are performing to you, and you get to learn bits and bobs and that. So yeah, I would have that stage, and I've got 5 artists there. But I'll just run through the names quickly because you might not know them. You might know them. I don't know, but So Sophia Thakur, who is amazing. Hussein Manawar, who's been on TV a lot. He's doing a lot of stuff at the moment for mental health and trying to push that movement. Miss Yankee, Yome Sode, and Jamal Osman, who's incredible as well. So I would get them. I'd probably get them to do like little, like maybe like 20-minute sets.
Yeah.
And then other bits and bobs going on the Fezzy like around it.
But may I just say that sounds really awesome. I like
Oh,
it. It's
cool.
called the Callaghan Festival. It sounds fantastic. And I feel that, poetry is a really vital part of some festivals, and I really I think it's nice to have that representation there. So fun, good on you. Let's hear more about your entertainment now.
Okay, so yeah, like stuff that's around, like merchandise and that. So basically, these are all my friends' businesses. So
Nice.
there's a clothing range called We Still Move, which I would get there. They sell like caps, hoodies, and t-shirts and stuff, really cool jeans and that. So I'd have that there. Soul Seed, which is a company which specializes in telling you about holistic recovery, selling crystals. They do sound healing. They sell sound healing bowls, different lights and stuff, meditation. I'd have someone there doing like massages and that, somebody doing one-on-one tarot reading, all that sort of stuff. Speaker Box Street Party, which is another company that I'm associated with, where they teach basically dance routines. They play music and you get to learn the routines and stuff, and it's just fun, feel good stuff, you know what I mean? Because even if you can't dance, they'll teach you simple steps. They get everyone doing like a flash mob thing, but it's not cringe. It's like just super fun, gets you moving. And then I've got like I would have like a bit where there's like loads of artwork. So like all my favorite artists, they'll be selling their pieces at like cheap rates and that, and you can buy them. You can buy them in book form. You can buy them in pictures. You can buy them in like stuff that you can have around your neck and that, like tattoo artists and that. So I'll probably have that. It's just going to be a mashup of everything creative, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's more than just a sick festival and a sick lineup. It's about community. There's a lot of community kind of vibe, and like that. And like I love the dancing, I love the healing, I love the massages, and and kind of supporting local artists too.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. And but let's head towards your Saturday main stage, and that's who is the first act on your Saturday?
All right, okay, so we're ramping it up now. Saturday is the one where everyone just goes crazy. Yeah. So we're going to go straight in there with another artist who I'm 90% sure you don't know who it is.
I'm really sorry.
Young M.A.
Young M.A. You know what? Yeah, no, sorry.
No, but to be honest, though, I'm not going to take the piss because I'm only new to her, to be honest. I've only only been into her in the last couple of years, even though she has been around for longer than that.
Yeah.
She's basically just a rapper from America. Does a lot of like heavy gang shit. It's quite dirty and heavy. But yeah, so I'd just go straight in with her to start.
Oh, what I'm gonna do, Sarah, I'm gonna re-edit it so it sounds like I know who young M.A. is. So wow, young M.A. Yeah, I totally know all about that. I'll just re-edit it in. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I sound really cool now, don't I?
Yeah, You do, yeah.
Genuinely, like I think this is the the most I feel most embarrassed about this podcast because I know not as many as usual. I'm usually on top form, but today it's less so.
Well, do you know what? It's mad because I was gonna go with like just normal like old school bands, you know, like Queen, Oasis, Fleetwood Mac, like, you know what I mean. But I was just like, no, I want to do something different, and also it's the sort of music that I'm listening to at the moment, so I wanted to keep it current in it. So
absolutely,
apologies.
Well, no, you don't need to apologise whatsoever. But if there is, I imagine on Sunday it's just going to be all the bands that Matt's know. But, so after Young M.A., who I totally know, who's next?
Chip is going to be next, and probably not the Chip that you know, Chipmunk. He's another grime artist. He's probably my favourite as well. He is incredible, so he would be next. And him and Young M.A. recently did a track together. So maybe they could do a little collab, and then she'd fuck off, and then he'd stay on for his bit. Yeah. So
it would have to be that brutal though. Like, all right, Young M.A., fuck off, right?
Right, get out now.
Fuck right off.
Yeah.
You might be Matt's favourite, but fuck off, right?
Yes, and then after him, then it's gonna be we're gonna probably do. I reckon, because Chip does a few like tunes that are like, in the sun dancing and stuff. Chris Brown, which will split a room because a lot of people don't like Chris Brown because he beat up Rihanna. But I feel like it was in the past. He is like Michael Jackson reincarnated. He is the sickest singer. He is the sickest dancer. He looks good. He's fit. Like, I think he would be good. That's the thing, a lot of people as well, they pretend they hate Chris Brown, but when they see him live, then all goes out the window.
I'll be honest, with Chris Brown, I definitely have negative connotations with him. Like, I remember that Rihanna story. I don't really know much about, I can't say I know much about it, but there seems to be a resurgence of that. A lot more apologists for Chris Brown these days as well. So do you feel that there's a big clash between that as well? Yeah, how do you feel about that situation?
I feel like people really like Chris Brown, but they only like him in secret now. It's the same as people like Michael Jackson, that it's like, oh, he's a paedophile. And it's just like, yeah, but he made good music. So it's like, and also we don't know the truth. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like people that are so adamant that he was, and you know what I mean? And there's a lot of artists that are like that. But if you think of how many artists over the years, beat up their misses and still carried on to have success, still get played, and all this sort of stuff. I'm not saying it's right, but in the Chris Brown Rihanna case, they used to hit each other. She was just as violent, and the reason why, I don't condone what he did, but in the documentary where it was all sort of revealed what happened when he was able to talk about it, she was like, he's driving the car and she's like punching him in the side of his face, squeezing his balls and that, punching him in the balls while he's driving, trying to grab his phone, chucking it out, spitting on him. She like spat on him. So it's like, you are provoking someone to have a reaction. Although that reaction is completely unacceptable, I don't think it's acceptable for a woman to beat a man either, And this was going on for many years. They were young, they were rich, you know what I mean? If you're 18, you're a millionaire, you're like shagging the most beautiful woman in the world, there's going to be elements of jealousy. There's so much ego flying around now. They're just kids, and I feel like he's definitely learned his lesson, because since that happened, he's never put a foot wrong in terms of in anything, let alone being violent to a woman. He's not broken the law once. So it's, I think people are allowed to make mistakes. When you're in the public eye and you're growing up and everything's being shown on TV, there's things that I did in my past that I'm not proud of, you know what I mean? But the whole world doesn't see it. So, and I feel like if you don't learn from your mistakes, if you keep doing the same things, like there's footballers or there's other actors that have, like Bobby Brown, scumbag, because it's like he never learned. He loved it. He loved beating. What was it? Not Whitney Houston. Was it Whitney Houston or?
Yeah, I think it's Whitney. Yeah.
But whereas him, it's just like he made a mistake, he did his time, he went prison and that, he fucking boom, and then he just kept his nut down and kept making music and trying to become a better person. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm very much about second chances. So yeah, fuck it.
It's definitely interesting to pry into that point as well, because like I think you made a couple of really excellent points as well. And just for the sake of the podcast, obviously I think it's very clear from both what I and Sarah are saying. We definitely don't condone any violence.
Not at all,
absolutely
not. At all.
But I think it's worth looking at nuance as well, and as you say, like there's lots of famous people who have beat their wives who haven't been cancelled in the same way. John Lennon, for example, David Bowie, I believe, as well. And
James
I feel,
Brown.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was a horrible cunt, you know what I mean? But everyone's like, oh my god, James Brown is a legend, and yes, he is a legend. but he was disgusting to women. So it's like, and a lot worse than Chris Brown. So yeah, everything needs to be taken in its context, I guess.
Yeah, and I kind of think, I think evolution is important too, because I think if someone has learned their lesson and have grown from it, then I think that's far more salvageable. And some, as you mentioned with previous examples, it can be. Yeah, I think it's kind of. If it's a repeating offence, then that's definitely horrendous. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's on whatsoever. However, yeah, I think if as you say, like I think there's like context and sympathy, and certainly things to be mindful of in that situation too. But also as a whole Castival kind of rule, we do have it's all about music, not necessarily by the artists as well. So we're not here to judge.
Exactly. He dances sick. What can I say?
After Chris Brown, who is number 4?
Number 4 is... See, this is a bit random because I wanted to keep the genres the same so it flowed. But I just love him so much. I had to chuck him in there, and I thought the Saturday he'd tear it up. So Liam Gallagher is going to be next.
Yeah, because that is a very... it's a bit of a... Not necessarily a gear shift, but a tone change. But a very, very nice one, though. Like, I think that'd be a really nice... touch in the right direction.
And something a bit rocky and a bit mad, because the next artist, the headliner, is going to be Kendrick Lamar. And when he does his live shows and that, he always uses, he changes up the arrangements of his songs quite a bit, and like he'll always like use like guitar solos, like heavy drums and shit. So I think in terms of the music, it would flow quite nicely. And Kendrick's just sick, isn't he?
So there's two kind of things. Well, I think both Liam Gallagher going to Kendrick Lamar. Now that is such a Saturday, as well as Young M.A., Chip, and Chris Brown. That's like you've got a right nice Saturday there, because that's it really is very special. It's going to be not messy, but in a good way messy. It's like it's going to be it's quite tight in terms of like the theme as well. I know Liam Gallagher is an outlier there, but actually I think he has that rock and roll edge to him, which kind of gives the rest. It adds a bit more grit to it as well. It's nice.
They're all sort of like punk. That all of those artists have a sort of punk element, so I think it would work.
Absolutely. And do you think Kendrick Lamar and Liam Gallagher will get on well together?
I think they would, yeah, I think they would. Yeah, I think there'd be mutual respect there, so it's a good place to start from.
Absolutely. It's very interesting that you've gone for Liam Gallagher solo as opposed to having Oasis full band. Is that for any particular reason?
I've just gone off Noel, like he is good, but the beef between them, I think he just made himself look a bit silly, and the fact that he doesn't want to reunite just for one last time is a piss take, because I've never seen them together. I've only ever seen them separately. But seeing them separately, I do prefer Liam. I think he just puts on a better show. And also Liam does all the Oasis tunes anyway, so I'm like, I don't need Noel, because he does them. He does them. Yeah. It's cool. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I would do Oasis, I'm not sure. But then I think, but if I put on Oasis, if we're going to be realistic with it, there's going to be so many people trying to get him that ticket. They're going to be jumping over the barriers and that, and I can't be fucked for the stress. I just want to have a good time.
Well, to be fair, this is a hypothetical festival, so you can just stop them from coming in. that could be done quite easily.
Yeah. Maybe I'm taking it too literally.
No. It's you've done a fantastic job. I like how you thought about that. So yeah, we'll keep the masses from afar by keeping it with Liam Gallagher.
And on the Callaghan stage, I'm going to have their poets as well, but they do more rap. They're more rappers. But I mean, everything is poetry, lyrics, music, rap. It all stems from poetry anyway. So fuck it. But because the Saturday's going to be a bit more like, bleh. So I've got some of the best upcoming rappers in the country at the moment, and they are incredible, and they're going to blow real soon. So it's funny. I will listen back to this when they're famous and be like, I put you on my festival in 2021, mate.
Yeah.
So Idris Miles, there's a girl called For Fuck's Sake Why Though. Tremendous, who is a rapper from Birmingham. King's Castle, who is a twin duo. One's a rapper, one's a producer, but they also rap together, but mainly the one guy. But it's the only twin rappers I know. And Shocker as well, who, again, a lot of his rap focuses on like mental health as well, because he got sectioned couple of years ago, and he just does a lot of advocating for young black guys dealing with their mental health and going into, you know, being sectioned and having serious, you know, schizophrenia and mental health issues and whatever. But his tunes are sick. He's got a sick flow in that, and he's just a real cool guy. And I've gigged with all of these people as well, so that's what makes it a bit more special. But they would tear it up on a Saturday, telling you.
Amazing, yeah. Like again, this is a podcast about passion and the way that you talk about them, because they're your friends and your colleagues as well. Like it's really nice to hear that as well, and I really do hope they do blow up soon as well. And
me too.
this is archive footage about how cool you'll be like later on.
One step ahead of the game, mate.
Lovely stuff. So without further ado, let's head towards our final day and Sunday. And who I imagine people are a little bit hungover, a bit tired, but then again, they did have a full night's rest because they had a lie-in, and it's Sunday, it's nice and relaxed, so everyone got to bed in time. But who's your first act on then?
First up on the Sunday, I would say. Yeah, I think we're going to go for Dave.
Dave, yes. Yeah. I know Dave.
You know Dave. Thank God for that. Bloody hell.
Like, I've seen him on the lineups like Leeds and Reading festivals, and I've definitely Googled Dave. So
good.
To be honest, it was one of those things where I had to double check, and that this is going to lose the credibility I've just got scraped back. But it definitely, I thought, is that Dave, like the comedy show Dave? So why do you think Dave's fantastic way to start off your Sunday?
Because he does a lot of poetry. He does stripped back performances where it's just pure poetry. But then also he's got a few commercial tunes out at the moment, which a lot of people would know, so that you can rap along to it and sing to it. You're not going to be like, oh, who's this guy? Like most people will know his lyrics and whatever and his tunes. And then he can just like build it up into something cool where you can have a little bit of a dance and that. Like he's not too crazy with it. He's not jumping up and down the stage and all that shit. So I just think it would be nice to start off with him as it kind of goes into the Sunday.
So it's kind of a nice balance between kind of a nice chill vibe, but also an energetic performance without it being too dancey. If you know what I mean. Yeah, I like that. So Dave is followed by who?
I think then we will have FKJ and Tom Misch.
Yeah.
You don't know that, do you?
No, to be honest, it genuinely sounds like one of my passwords. So
FKJ, so Tom Misch is an entity within himself, and he's just like incredible. He's just a singer, musician, plays various instruments, but he is sick. And I actually use a few of his beats for my stuff because he makes beats as well. And FKJ is a guy called, it stands for French Kiwi Juice. He's he's a French guy, and he literally plays every single instrument you can ever imagine. It's to watch him perform is just insane. Like he's just got all the instruments around him, and he'll build up the tracks and play all the instruments. He's fucking sick. And so they do some stuff together sometimes. So I think I would love to get them together on a stage, because I don't think they've ever done, like, not to my knowledge anyway, like festivals or like lots of live shows together. So to get them to do like a full like half an hour set would just be sick. And like where everyone's sitting there like stoned and just chilled on the Sunday, having a couple of drinks. I think their stuff, because their stuff's very like lo-fi, jazz, soul, just like, it's just chilled music, man. It's good.
So do you think it's important to have a nice chill vibe on the Sunday?
Yeah, but we're going to build it up, don't worry.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Okay, so the next one is going to be Masego, which, so he plays sax and whatever, and he's a wicked singer. And but he's very much the same sort of genre, following on the same theme as the previous act. So I think that would go nicely as well. And also they've done tracks together, so again they could do a little collab. I like that when you're at a festival and then they invite someone else on the stage. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love that moment. And I'm a big fan of like rock and metal festivals as well. And there's not that much. There's a bit of collaboration, but never that much collaboration as well. So, and I know like particularly with like with like grime and hip hop and lots of different elements of rap, there's a lot more collaboration. Do you feel that's important in the music to have that kind of like community?
For sure. I think collaboration across all art forms is so important. Like, like within your own field, crossing fields as well. Like, yeah, it's the way you learn. It's good for networking. It makes you grow. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think when people just do things on their own, like I find it a bit sad.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, I do this podcast pretty much by myself, but it's a lot of fun, and I get to chat to awesome
Yeah, but
people,
you're talking to people, so it's like
yeah. But yeah, I joking aside, you're right though, because I do like it's really good for like just engaging with other people and hearing other people's thoughts and views. And there's not one festival which is the same as well. And particularly this festival, it's given me got a lot of homework to do after this, Sarah. So you know what? And if we ever chat again, and if we do a redo of another festival, I'm gonna be so shit hot as well. I'll be recommending stuff to you. It'll be good.
Good.
Our first band rehearsal's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
So after Masego, who have you got to as the penultimate act of your festival?
I'm gonna have Stormzy.
Oh wow! Not a headliner, but that's nice, Stormzy.
Yeah, he was gonna be my headliner, but I've changed him round.
Was that last minute? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tense.
Yeah, but he's obviously Stormzy. I really like him. But I think he's gone down in my headliner quality now because basically him and Chip had some beef. That's why I've put Chip on the Friday and
wow.
on the Saturday and him on the Sunday, because if they meet they might fight, you know what I mean? So I don't want them, I'm just trying to keep peace with everybody.
Again, health and safety, Sarah.
Exactly, you know what I mean? I'm on it. But yeah, so they had some beef last year and basically, like diss tracks. So Chip come with one and Stormzy didn't say nothing. So because he acted a bit like a pussyhole, he's actually gone down in my estimations a little bit. I thought he was a lot harder than that. So he can't headline anymore. He's just going to have a set.
So in his contract, it's like, sorry, Stormzy, you're being delegated to a penultimate headline. Is that why? The legal term is because you're a pussyhole.
Yeah,
that's why. That's
yeah, and you can quote me on that for sure.
Yeah. I like it how not doing a diss track is actually negative in your head as well, because I thought this do you think it's important to kind of be like retaliate in that way?
Yeah, because it's all fun and games, you know what I mean? It's not like Tupac and Biggie, like no one's gonna die, no one's gonna it's you fight with the pen, that's what it is, you know what I mean? But also other people have come for him before and he's gone back at them, so he's basically shown that he feels inferior to Chip by not saying anything. You know what I mean? So, and it's just like, just make a track, man. Like the audience, the punters, the fans, we want to see the battle of lyrics, the battle of, who's got it in them to make a song that fast. But yeah, he never did it. So I just thought, oh, well.
Have you ever done a diss track, Sarah?
Do you know what? I have, but I've never released it or shown anyone. I've just, because what I used to do is I always used to respond really quickly to emails or text message back, argument. And then I'd say something that I regretted. Once you say, you can't take it back. You know what I mean? So now you're just supposed to write it all out, but not send it. That's the trick, because then you get it out and then you don't fuck yourself up, So yeah, I have done that before. Yeah.
You know what? I can't wait to hear the Matt Hoss diss track as well. You don't know any grime, and you're terrible at rhymes.
Wait, that's sick. Oh dear.
And but yeah, so since Stormzy has been relegated to a penultimate headliner, who is headlining your festival?
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak. Again, I'm not sure if I know them, unfortunately.
Well, if you like drumming, then for me, because a lot of people say, "Oh, who's your favorite drummer?" And you might say, one of these old drummers from back in the day, or whatever. He, to me, is the best drummer in the world. He is incredible. He's so funky with it. He's just sick, and he's a great rapper. He's a great singer. He looks good. He's got an amazing vibe. He's a really good dad. He's just he's just a really good person. And he's recently collaborated with Bruno Mars, so he'll probably bring Bruno Mars out, to be honest, because they've just collaborated. They've made a new band called Silk Sonic, which they are releasing tracks, which are super really really cool, laid back. Sexy sort of R&B stuff, and but he's amazing live because he really gets the crowd going. Everyone dances, plus he plays the drums. You've got the live band and everything. So yeah, I think he would really he'd take the Sunday out nicely.
Yeah, that's nice, and I think that's a really nice sales pitch as well. It's closing Sunday is really, it's a difficult one because it's hard to kind of get that energy for it. But yeah, I think that sounds really fun. And if you had to recommend to someone who didn't know them, whoever that person might be, what kind of track would you recommend? Or if you were like albums, what album would you recommend? Or any YouTube video you think that really sells who they are?
I really like, he did a track with Kendrick Lamar actually called Bubbling.
Yeah.
So that one. And yeah, Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. Like when he did the collaboration with Bruno Mars, that is a really, really catchy tune. And like the music video for that is wicked. So definitely YouTube that. That's, yeah.
And do you think Bruno Mars would join on stage as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have to. I'd pay him good money. I'd get him.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's you're doing right by your acts as well. So, and did you have the third day of Callaghan?
Yes, I got the Callaghan stage. We basically got the most famous poets in the country, plus me. I'll be performing as well. So
yay!
So we got George the Poet, Caleb Femi, Silly Breaks, Kate Tempest, and me. And yeah, I think I'll be looking forward to pissing with the big boys up on the big boys stage. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd have that. And then I also just wrote down like loads and loads of like grime people, oldies, so like old people from back in the day and bands. But obviously we can't get through it. But But yeah, that's what I would do. That's the Fezzy. Yeah.
You know what a festival, and may I say it's a sick festival. So,
yes.
But yeah, I think without further ado, let's head over to the final part of this podcast and let's deal with some floor fillers.
Ooh.
As with event management, things are bound to go wrong. So here's 5 hypothetical questions that Sarah has to deal with in the manner that she sees fit. So here's your first floor filler, Sarah. Oh no, Skepta is cancelled last minute. Who do you get to replace?
Probably Kano.
Oh yeah, see, I know Kano.
Yes.
Kano's popped up quite a lot, and Kano's quite a new act though, right?
No. He's been around for like 20 years.
Okay, then I've been grossly misled.
Yeah, he's old school. He's in his 40s, man. He's an old man now.
So quite the same kind of vibe, I guess, for Skepta. Nice. See, that's a really nice fit. You've done that very nicely as well. Like, without no shit. Right, here we go. Backup plan. Okay. Oh dear, someone's running late and you need to fill for time. But fortunately, one of your favourite celebrities is willing to do a DJ set for you. They don't need to be a DJ per se, but what celebrity would you pick?
Oh, who's that geezer that always does stuff? He's always at the Fezzies. He gets people going. Craig
David?
No, not Craig David. Craig Charles.
Craig Charles is a sick one. Yes, mate. Yeah. I think he does music as well, I think. But,
oh, really? Oh, right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds good. All right. Liam Gallagher acts like a diva to you. How do you get your revenge?
I'll probably do like a prank on him backstage because I wouldn't want to fuck up his set because I'd want the music to go well. Because I was going to originally say like turn off his microphone or something, but I thought, no, let's not do that because that actually hurts me. So, I would like lock him in his trailer or something like that.
Yeah.
just do something dumb, to get him angry.
That sounds fun. Bad news here. Chip has decided to stay an extra day, and Chip and Stormzy, they're at each other's throats. The beef has gone mad, and they say you have to choose one or the other. Who would you choose over, Chip or Stormzy?
Chip,
straight down. Yeah.
Because Stormzy's not really shown his face in the last year. It's like, come on, man, where's the love? Not me, just left us out here alone. during a
Yeah.
pandemic with no music, no interaction with your fans. What the fuck? So yeah, he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. You're out, Stormzy.
Yeah.
Get out. Chip all away.
Yeah.
And final question. One of your acts has forgotten their equipment, but good news, they can do a set acoustically. Which artist, if you had to choose, would you make do an acoustic set?
Ooh. I reckon Little Sims would do quite well.
I was thinking Little Sims, to be
Yeah.
fair, but yeah, and I think that might be the right kind of intimate vibe as well. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I like that
It'd
a
be
lot.
different, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering Floor Fillers, and thank you so much for being on Castival. It's
Thanks.
been an absolute joy to have Six Festival, and thank you for coming on, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
And where can we find you online? Would you like to plug anything? And is there anything that my fans can do to support you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at scallaghan1, the number 1. I sell books. I've written books, so you can DM me. I send batches out every week. They're like poetry books, a trilogy, so you can either buy them individually or as a trilogy. And also I've got loads of music out online, so it's all my stuff is on every music platform you can imagine. Deezer, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all of the good stuff. So yeah, if you type my name in, then you'll find it. So please download it, stream, buy my shit, and yeah, give me a follow.
That's amazing, and I can't wait to and obviously do check out our collaboration when it comes live. It's gonna be excellent. Bruno Mars, we'll give you a run for your money, mate. So but yeah, thank you, listener, for joining in as well. It's been an absolute treat to have you here. If you want to help us out, please do follow us at Castival Podcast, and you can also follow me at Matt Hoss Comedy on all the platforms. And if you want to help us out, please give us a 5-star rating online as well. But without further ado, please give a massive thank you to my wonderful guest, Sarah Callaghan.
Yay, thank you.